New friends, new opportunities, new partners, EG Tax.
Hey, this is Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, and this is Ask the Tax Lady on WBBZ, where we're talking taxes and we're answering your tax questions. I have Tiffany Fabian, Christopher Fabian, my daughter and son-in-law. We're the brain trust of EG Tax, and we want to help you. So if you have any questions, you don't have to wait till Wednesdays to sit around and say, gee, I hope they ask my question. You can ask anytime through our website at egtax.com. Ask the Tax Lady. Will answer all your questions.
On boats, on planes, at airports.
Wherever I am, if that thing goes bling, I answer the question. And again, you can call any of our branch offices. We have 30 offices to serve you. Our fees are the lowest in the industry, and I will tell you if you need something tax related, EG Tax does it for the lowest fee possible. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back on the other side with your question. So you probably know the federal government has restricted your taxes and itemized deductions. Bad news for New Yorkers, but how did the state compensate? All those deductions that are eliminated or restricted on the federal are still deductible on New York State. Complicated? True. A double set of rules? True. But it's a great big benefit when you do your New York State return. EG Tax is your hometown tax team, and we want to work hard for you. This year, come join our family. Ever notice how people are always changing their hairstyles and colors? Some are better than others, but all of them take time to get used to. Well, taxes are like that too. It seems like Congress can't keep the same tax laws in place long enough for us to get used to it. And this year is really no exception. There's over 450 tax form changes and thousands of new computations. This change affects everyone. This year, come join our family. Why is it when we think of our family, we always do what's best for them? Like when there's a problem with your kid's teeth, you call the orthodontist. Problem with the car? Call the mechanic. So why, with the largest tax law change in decades, would you even think about preparing your own tax return yourself? A mistake could cost you thousands. EG Tax has studied these tax law changes since their inception. We're going to work hard to make sure you get the biggest refund possible. This year, come join our family.
Attention real estate investors. Thinking of buying or selling real estate investment property? Call R.J. Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists at 716-675-1500 or visit them online at rjgullo.com. For a free consultation when buying or selling real estate investment property or to pay no tax through a 1031 exchange, let R.J. Gullo Companies put their 40 years of experience to work for you. Call R.J. Gullo Companies at 716-675-1500 or visit them online at rjgullo.com.
I'm attorney Dennis Kitchen. Now is a good time to look at your finances and your debts. How much debt do you have right now? If you don't know, or if you don't want to know, it may be too much. Isn't it time that you talk to an attorney about a fresh start? I've been helping many people in debt over the years, and I don't charge for an initial consultation about debts. Call for a free consultation. I'm Dennis Kitchen, and I'd like to help.
I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. We're here talking taxes, and it's tax season, and we want to help you. And so we have our roving reporter, Dom, out in the field. And Dom, who's our first victim here today?
I pay for daycare for my adult son who is disabled so I can work. He is 20 years old. I work as an aide in a school cafeteria and make around $18,000 a year. Do I have to file a claim? Can I claim him on my taxes if I have to file a claim?
All right, so out of a bad situation, something good is for this taxpayer. And I don't know if they've filed in the past, but they should have, especially if they had income, because several things are at play. Number one, the medical is going to be deductible, right?
Correct.
Right.
Well,
Right? And number two,
she can
because
claim the-
because this is a totally and permanently disabled child, they're considered this person's dependent, and as a result, they're head of the household,
right.
right?
And in return,
they get the earned
they
income
get
credit.
the earned income
Yeah.
credit.
Right, so they're gonna get the earned income credit, they're gonna get the family.
$500.
Family credit, the $500 credit, and they'll get the earned income credit on the federal and the state. So they don't have to file.
Right.
They want to file, and if they haven't taken the earned income credit in the past, they should amend their last few years' returns and do that. So what people have to understand is just because your child is older, if they're unable to work, and I've had situations, especially now with the drug epidemic being so prevalent, I'll have taxpayers that'll come in and say, my child doesn't work, sits in their room all day, goes out and gets stoned in the evening, and what can I do? Well, first of all, if the kid doesn't have any income,
You can
they're
claim it,
dependents,
right?
right? But number two, I say, have you taken them in to be diagnosed? Are they
Permanently,
disabled?
Totally
Yep.
disabled.
You know, and I know that sometimes parents are offended. I don't mean to offend anybody, but my job is to make sure that I get every dime that somebody's entitled to. If the
right.
kid is then considered to be disabled, then
You get the
they
earned
would get
income
the earned
credit.
income
Yep.
credit.
Yeah, and truth, if you, on paper, this lady doesn't have to file because the new standard deduction for a head of household is
Is 18,
18,000.
right.
And so she wouldn't have to file, but she
On the federal.
wants to file
right.
on the federal. She absolutely wants to file. And those conversations you
And they
have-
also get the daycare credit, and which is refundable on New York State, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, Dom, what else we got?
I see there is a big postcard-sized tax form, and I heard there are other forms you need to attach to make it come out correctly. How do you know what to attach?
Okay,
Schedules.
so it is really bizarre. When we took a look at the software this year, we thought, you know, God bless President Trump. He really wanted a postcard-sized tax return. Unfortunately, the postcard doesn't work. So they got this postcard, but then you have to attach all these
Schedules.
supplemental forms to
Yep.
make the postcard work. So you end up with 6 pages instead of a page.
At least 6 pages.
At least 6 pages. So it's so sad, you know, before it would have been the 1040A, 1040EZ would have been like 1 page.
Yep.
Right? Now, there is no 1040A, 1040EZ.
Nope.
It's all on 1040, but you got this postcard, but then you have to attach all these other forms to make the postcard size work, plus all the supporting documents. So
I think-
everything is a change, and this is a
Yeah.
big change, and
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. I bet you next year they go to the regular.
Right.
It wastes half sheet of paper, too.
Oh, it
It
wastes
does,
a lot of
because
sheet
the
paper.
first half sheet of paper is your name, your address, and your dependents, if you have any, and so it wastes a half sheet of paper. I think really well said is that President Trump is a showman, and so he got.
What do you
his-
want?
well, he
Ask
got
for
what he
it.
wanted.
Be careful what you ask for, you just might get it, you know?
Yeah,
So, yeah, so the interesting thing is, in order to make the postcard work, you have to attach a bunch of other forms.
Right, it's Schedule 1 through Schedule 6, along with, then you have your
All your
usual Schedule
supporting-
A, Schedule B,
Right.
Schedule C's, D's. So they really didn't abbreviate it, they made it
Made it more
long.
complicated.
Yep.
Yeah, well, what you gonna do? All right, Dom, what else we got?
So I got a much larger paycheck during the year, and now I find out that I owe money back. What can I do to make sure this doesn't happen in the future?
Well, that, we knew was gonna be a problem, because they, again,
They lowered the tax rates.
President Trump is a showman, and he wanted to make sure, and in many situations, this is a big tax cut. But in certain situations, it's not a tax cut, because they've eliminated deductibility, especially for people that are over-the-road truckers, or people that are outside salespeople, or if you had a lot of dependents, because dependent exemptions are gone. So the only way you can do that is to, when you are looking at your tax return this year, take a look at what your bottom line is. If you're gonna owe money, then you have to adjust your
And the
withholding.
reason that this person might have owed this year where they didn't know the year before is, under the tax reform, they lowered the tax rate so much that they put more in everybody's paycheck throughout the year, because they knew that the tax tables were adjusted, and so hence, they were filtering more into your paycheck, because like Esther said, the showmanship, the stimulating the economy. And so what you really have to do is you're probably gonna have to fill out a new W-4 and adjust your withholdings, or maybe put more into your pension. You really have to sit down and look at it equivocally.
All right?
Yep,
That's true. I mean, on the state of New York, once you're age 59 and a half, the first $20,000 in pensions and annuities that you receive is tax-free. If you are retired from a federal, state, or local municipality, regardless of your age, your entire pension is tax-free. I have seen many situations where people have filed with the state of New York and not taken advantage of that subtraction, And of course, New York State corrects it for them, right? Oh, it doesn't, that's right. So if you've been paying taxes on your pension in New York State, you should go back and amend that tax return because you have money coming back. It is true, this guy's pension is gonna be completely tax-free.
And then don't forget that this person just retired, and so when they start getting Social Security, they might want to do some voluntary withholdings on their Social Security. And then when they get to the age where they have RMDs, they're going to want to look at their withholdings even more to see if they should increase their withholdings even more.
Right, and this covers IRAs,
Annuities.
The husband gets a $20,000, the wife gets a $20,000.
And remember, this is New York State
This
only.
is New York,
On the
not
federal,
federal.
it's fully taxable.
Right.
And then I've also discovered that federal people tend to retire very, very young. So this person might want to get a part-time job and work a little bit and maybe do another career. I know Chris has some family in the post office, and they said that when they retire, they're going to do what they enjoy to do. And so then you could put some money into a 401k at your new employer. Maybe you could put money into an IRA. And so you really want to plan and look at the bigger picture.
That's
And
exactly right.
I hate to say this, but people who do retire early, you brought it up, is you have to plan your medical. This person worked for the government,
That's
so
true.
hopefully they still have health insurance because of the union contracts
Right.
and all that. But the normal person, when they retire at age 60, there's 5-year gap there for health insurance, and health insurance is not cheap.
Now, had they done a 401H,
Yep.
which nobody knows about, it's interesting, there is a piggybacking on health insurance. If your company has a 401k, they can also opt into a 401H, which would mean you can put some of the money that would have gone into the 401k plan into your 401 health. And so all that money grows tax deferred into your health plan. It's deductible when you put it in, and when you take it out upon retirement, it's completely tax-free on
You
the
don't have to
federal
pay
if you
tax
use
As long
it
as
then?
it's used
Wow.
for medical. Right.
Yep.
And so the 401H is a very little known deduction. As a matter of fact, we were calling brokers
To find out
asking
how
if they
much
knew
to
about it,
set
and they
it up.
said, I've never heard about it.
yeah.
Did that one broker ever get
I
back
have
to you?
not, yes, they have.
Okay.
So,
And
yep.
said,
Mike,
wow,
did they
Mike
know
K.
about
Fleck
it?
at the financial guys, yes.
All right.
Oh, but
good
he
enough.
didn't know about it either.
When we called him back in December, no.
Yeah, all right. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, and I will tell you, if you need the best tax help for the lowest fee, EG Tax is there in your corner. It's always great to have somebody that's kind of standing between you and the federal government, the state of New York, and we don't stand between you because they're scary, but you don't know the tax law, and you don't know whether your return is right. Many times when you use software, you print it out and you say, well, let's hope this is right, Martha, and you send it in and you really don't know, and that's what we're there for. We're here to not only just prepare your return, we're also here to plan for the future so that you know. Well, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the other side. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. So you probably know the federal government has restricted your taxes and itemized deductions. Bad news for New Yorkers, but how did the state compensate? All those deductions that are eliminated or restricted on the federal are still deductible on New York State. Complicated? True. A double set of rules? True. But it's a great big benefit when you do your New York State return. EG Tax is your hometown tax team, and we want to work hard for you. This year, come join our family. Ever notice how people are always changing their hairstyles and colors? Some are better than others, but all of them take time to get used to. Well, taxes are like that too. It seems like Congress can't keep the same tax laws in place long enough for us to get used to it. And this year is really no exception. There's over 450 tax form changes and thousands of new computations. This change affects everyone. This year, come join our family. Why is it when we think of our family, we always do what's best for them? Like when there's a problem with your kid's teeth, you call the orthodontist. Problem with the car? Call the mechanic. So why, with the largest tax law change in decades, would you even think about preparing your own tax return yourself? A mistake could cost you thousands. EG Tax has studied these tax law changes since their inception. We're going to work hard to make sure you get the biggest refund possible. This year, come join our family.
Attention real estate investors. Thinking of buying or selling real estate investment property? Call R.J. Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists at 716-675-1500 or visit them online at rjgullo.com. For a free consultation when buying or selling real estate investment property or to pay no tax through a 1031 exchange, let R.J. Gullo Companies put their 40 years of experience to work for you. Call R.J. Gullo Companies at 716-675-1500 or visit them online at rjgullo.com.
I'm attorney Dennis Kitchen. Now is a good time to look at your finances and your debts. How much debt do you have right now? If you don't know, or if you don't want to know, it may be too much. Isn't it time that you talk to an attorney about a fresh start? I've been helping many people in debt over the years, and I don't charge for an initial consultation about debts. Call for a free consultation. I'm Dennis Kitchen, and I'd like to help.
Hi, I'm Esther Golias, the Tax Lady from EG Tax. Thanks for watching our show, Ask the Tax Lady. Don't forget, every Wednesday here on WBBZ, we're here you can watch us kind of think if you really want to know. And we're thinking about how to make sure that you don't overpay your taxes. I have Tiffany Fabian, Christopher Fabian, my daughter and son-in-law. We're the brain trust, so to speak, of EG Tax, and we want to help you. And so we have our roving reporter out in the field. And Dominic, what do we got?
Esther, I have 2 bank accounts in Canada from the sale of our cottage in 2010. Why do I have to put that income on my tax return if I never take the money out of Canada?
Okay, Chris, you like talking about F-bars and things of
well,
that
let's
nature.
not just talk about F-bar, but this
the
goes
money.
back to the worldwide income. That's a sale of a second home. That's not your personal home. That's a second home, or I believe they said a couple homes they sold up in Canada. So then that's a Schedule D transaction.
Right.
So that's a investment property.
Well, and there's other things. And also, when you're a U.S. citizen in Canada and you sell an asset in Canada, Canada withholds at source.
So you're not only going to want to do the U.S.
Right.
return, you have to do a Canadian
Yeah, so
return.
Canada withholds at source, and so you're going to have to do your Canadian return, and then you're going to get a refund, and then what's left, you're going to get a credit for foreign taxes paid on your U.S.
Yep.
return. So you got your Schedule D, which you're going to pay taxes on the federal return, and you get a credit for the taxes you paid in Canada.
Right.
So, and then if you would leave more than $10,000 up in that lovely country, which we love, Canada, then you have to do an F-bar report to report to the Internal Revenue Service the money that you have in the banks in a foreign bank account. Otherwise, you could be subject to a $10,000 fine or 50% of the asset value
Right.
of the account. So very, very complicated. You want to make sure you get all your eggs
You might
in
recommend
the right
that
basket.
he put that money into a U.S. account instead of.
No, you got to be careful, because I do have clients just in this scenario, and they get mad because say this person sold it for 150,000 Canadian, okay? They're paying tax to the U.S. at 15%. They're paying another tax to Canada.
Right.
So they're paying a lot of money in taxes. So we'll say they're ended up with $80,000 after taxes.
US or
They bring
Canadian.
that money over to the U.S. It's not 80,000 with the exchange rate. It's only going to be like 55,000.
right.
So they're paying another 25,000. They're losing. So I don't blame them for keeping it in Canada to hopefully the exchange rate
Right.
gets better.
Well, people kind of do play games with the exchange rate.
Yep.
You know, but you really aren't losing it, though. It is what it is. If it's
Right,
80,000 in Canada and it's 55 in the United States, that's what it is.
Right, but yeah.
But a lot of people will say, gee, we hope that 50 goes to 75 US, which would be lovely. But unfortunately, if you do, and it is, the F-bar is not a big, horrible
No.
form to do anyway. Unfortunately, it's a form you have to do.
Yep.
And if you don't do it, then the fines can be there, and the sanction of part of your principal as well, so.
It's more like a bookkeeping form so that they can keep an eye on
Right,
what's
they want to
going on.
keep an eye on you, right? Okay, what do we got, Don?
Hello, we're in Tabby Town, Esther, and I'm here with Carrie and Rusty. And Rusty, do you have a question for Esther?
I gave away a ton of items to the Goodwill last year. I guesstimate that it was worth around $8,000 or more. Is there anything special I need to do to take this deduction?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, first of all, if you give $8,000 to a not-for-profit charity, 501c3, there's several things you have to do in order to prove the deductibility. First of all, if it's over 5,000, what do you need to do?
If it's over 5.
You need an appraisal.
You
for
need an
500.
appraisal.
Yeah.
And so, did our taxpayer get an appraisal?
Right.
Probably not.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, so they don't have the appraisal, then they have to make a complete
Itemized
list of
list.
everything that they gave and the fair market value at the time of the donation. So not what you just say, gee, I think that's worth $8,000. No, it would be, and the Salvation Army and Goodwill have a really good
On their website.
estimate on their website
Right,
what they're
right.
worth. Really, you're gonna find that they're far below what you paid for it. And it's not replacement value, it's what you could sell it for used. And
Gotcha.
especially with electronics. Electronics are like a dime a dozen anymore. I mean, I just bought, at Christmas time, I bought 50-inch TVs for $200. A 50-inch TV, smart TV.
That's
you know?
like staggering.
So it's just remarkable to see what the real value is on some electronics. So you really need to go through and make that list, take pictures,
Yep.
right?
And then especially, like we've mentioned before, you're gonna be able to probably itemize on the state of New York too, and New York State is really holding on to that money, and so you wanna make sure you have your ducks in your row, you cross your Ts, you dot your Is, and make that itemized list, take the pictures, and really
And the other thing
focus.
is, don't fabricate it. You know, a lot of times people will say, I feel like I gave around $1,000. I mean, it isn't what you feel like, it's what you actually did.
Right.
And so you have to do the due diligence, make the list, take the pictures, figure out what it was worth at the time you made the donation. Get the receipt from the charity, right?
Right.
And it would be really good if it's more than stamped Peter Fonda or whoever they say. I mean, that they would say large donation, see attached, and put a stamp on your list.
You know, I was gonna say, a lot of times we see with charity is the people who donate cars. You know, and they're, oh, my car was worth $10,000, Kelly Blue Book value. And I'll go to them, well, why didn't you sell that car
Right.
then? You know, oh, because it didn't have an engine, or it needed this, and it didn't have, you know, well, then it really wasn't worth $10,000.
Now,
you
a few years ago, if you do donate a car, they changed the law on the car. You can't take the deduction for the donated car until they actually either, the charity sells the car at auction, or they use it for somebody who's at the charity. And so you really wanna make sure.
When they do sell it at the auction, you get what they sell it for.
Right.
Right.
It's not what you think it's worth, so you might think it's worth $8,000.
Right.
They may only sell it for $500, and that's what your deduction
Right,
is.
and then the other thing is, you know, going, kind of building on that, many times people think, well, I want to give away my car because I want this big deduction, and let's say it is worth $10,000, but you have nothing else to itemize. How much will you get?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Maybe for New York.
Nothing. So just because you gave it, if you can't itemize, you're not going to get any benefit at all. So giving things because you have a philanthropic mindset, that's wonderful. But if you're selling it to get a big tax write-off, you don't get dollar for dollar.
No.
You get a percentage. If you're in the 10% bracket and you gave away a $10,000 car and you can't itemize, what do you really save in taxes? $1,000.
Yeah, so maybe it'd be better to just give it
It's
to a family
always
member
better
or-
to sell it,
or sell it.
unless that's what you want to do, give it
Right,
away to a
right,
charity.
right.
Okay, so the important thing is, I think that you've learned from our shows, is that there's really nothing simple about taxes, because one hand does affect the other, and what you do here affects something else. The important thing is, when you're getting ready to prepare your own return, or you're getting ready to have it done professionally, it's really important that you sit down with your tax advisor to find out not just about what's happening now, but how to, especially as this gigantic tax change goes into effect so that you know how to do things in the future. Whether you have a small business, where you have rental property, whether you want to take money out of your pension plan, the important thing is to tax plan so that you understand how to reduce your tax liability. Okay, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back on the other side. So you probably know the federal government has restricted your taxes and itemized deductions. Bad news for New Yorkers, but how did the state compensate? All those deductions that are eliminated or restricted on the federal are still deductible on New York State. Complicated? True. A double set of rules? True. But it's a great big benefit when you do your New York State return. EG Tax is your hometown tax team, and we want to work hard for you. This year, come join our family. Why is it when we think of our family, we always do what's best for them? Like when there's a problem with your kid's teeth, you call the orthodontist. Problem with the car? Call the mechanic. So why, with the largest tax law change in decades, would you even think about preparing your own tax return yourself? A mistake could cost you thousands. EG Tax has studied these tax law changes since their inception. We're going to work hard to make sure you get the biggest refund possible. This year, come join our family.
Attention real estate investors. Thinking of buying or selling real estate investment property? Call R.J. Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists at 716-675-1500 or visit them online at rjgullo.com. For a free consultation when buying or selling real estate investment property or to pay no tax through a 1031 exchange, let R.J. Gullo Companies put their 40 years of experience to work for you. Call R.J. Gullo Companies at 716-675-1500 or visit them online at rjgullo.com.
I'm attorney Dennis Kitchen. Now is a good time to look at your finances and your debts. How much debt do you have right now? If you don't know, or if you don't want to know, it may be too much. Isn't it time that you talk to an attorney about a fresh start? I've been helping many people in debt over the years, and I don't charge for an initial consultation about debts. Call for a free consultation. I'm Dennis Kitchen, and I'd like to help.
Hey, I'm Esther Golias, the Tax Lady. Thank you again for joining us on Ask the Tax Lady on WBBZ. We're here every Wednesday, and of course on Saturdays, we're on WBEN from 3 to 4.
Right.
And on Saturdays, rather than having Dominic out in the field, we have live phone-in conversations on WBEN. So whether you enjoy listening here or you want your tax question answered on the phone on WBEN, or you can just email us through our
call
website.
any of our 30 offices.
And you can talk to a real person. We have real people in our offices who want to help you. But during the week, if you need any help, go to our website, give us a call. We hope that you think EG Tax is a great place to take care of your tax needs. Until next week, I'm Esther Golias with Christopher Fabian, Tiffany Fabian. Have a great week. Okay, that's it.